Good morning, everyone. It's 9:30, so we'll get started today. I hope everyone's had a good start to the year. My name is Jonathan Sweeney, and I'm a cyber analyst with Red Sky Alliance. Today's threat brief contains information gathered from open source and Red Sky Alliance collections over the last week. For the agenda today, we are going to briefly discuss recent reporting for the recently disclosed Mozilla ZeroDays CVE 2019-17026. For open source and social media, we will cover recent data breaches and cyber attacks. And then we'll go over 7 days of trending, including the latest APT activities, botnet activity, cloud security, blacklists, and keylogger activity. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, or CISA, has recently released a bulletin regarding a critical zero-day vulnerability in Mozilla software, which is actively being exploited in the wild. Released on January 8th, 2020, the advisories are for Mozilla Firefox version 72.0.1, Firefox ESR 68.4.1, and Thunderbird 68.4.1. Identified as CVE 2019-17026, this vulnerability is caused by incorrect alias information in IonMonkey JIT compiler for setting array elements, which could lead to a type confusion. Mozilla has not released more detailed information on the vulnerability yet, but the IonMonkey JIT compiler is used to help speed up computer code by compiling during the execution of a program instead of prior to the execution of the program. The compiler can emit fast native code translations of JavaScript functions for the ARM, x86, and x86 64-bit platforms. Although CISA claims the vulnerability is being exploited in the wild, it is unclear who's being targeted or which groups / actors are using the exploit. Because the updated versions of Mozilla software are not vulnerable, Red Sky Alliance recommends updating all Mozilla software to the most recent versions if possible. To update Firefox and Firefox ESR, all you have to do is open the application, click on the 3 white lines on the top right menu, click About Firefox, and then Update. If you do not see version 72.0.1, you should see an option to update the program. The same process can be used to update Mozilla Thunderbird email software. Taking a look at the top 5 botnets observed in our collections, we have similar perpetrators as last week, with a server sinkhole by Anubis Networks in the top spot. Ramnet has stayed in the top 5 this week. Conficker is in 3rd place, followed by Smaminru, and Arbor Networks Acert sinkhole server is sitting in the 5th spot this week. Researchers at Malwarebytes have recently disclosed a magic card attack targeting people donating to the Australian bushfire relief effort. Very, very moral of them. The attackers placed software skimming malware on the checkout webpage, which sends the payment information to the attackers and redirects the users to a malicious domain registered to Moscow, Russia. Once researchers discovered the malicious domain being used to exfil card information, they had the domain disabled. However, it's unclear if attackers had begun exfiltrating the stolen data using a different domain. Last week, a data vulnerability was disclosed regarding Facebook's page administrators. Due to the simplicity of exploiting this vulnerability, the issue was resolved relatively quickly. Last week, bug hunter Mohammed Bassett disclosed that page admin information was being disclosed due to a logic error issue when a user linked a specific post on a page. The admin information was disclosed in an email inviting users to like a page after liking a post. After awarding Bassett a bug bounty of $2,500, Facebook claims the issue has been resolved and future emails will not contain this information. And Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas introduced a bill on January 8th targeting the Chinese network giant Huawei. With a current ban on the use of Huawei equipment in U.S. federal agencies, lawmakers now seek to prevent the sharing of U.S. intelligence with countries that use Huawei technology to support their 5G or 5th gen networks. Currently, Huawei is used in ally countries such as Italy, Japan, and Germany, which could lead to further geopolitical issues between the U.S. and its allies. That was likely part of the planned process there. Red Sky Alliance will continue to monitor the situation and any effects it may have on the current trade war between the U.S. and China. Last week, Red Sky Alliance recorded approximately 1 million of the indicators listed above. These collections include our threat recon, keylogger, malicious emails, and sinkhole traffic. The number on this slide shows the indicators in the respective collections. Indicators are available to paid Red Sky Alliance members weekly, as well as our blacklists, which come in CSV, FortiSIM, and Proofpoint formats. These are our APT and botnet indicators collected in the last week. We had 136 unique APT indicators in the past 7 days. This is down 43 indicators from last week's reporting. You can use your two-factor authentication to log into CTAC to download the APT indicators discussed today. Please contact us on Slack or via email if you need any assistance with that. On the right hand, you can see our, next slide, please. Topping the list for multiple weeks now is SickyPot. Tab Sutang is showing up with Maudi again. And we also see DNS Calc showing up in the top APTs this week. Botnet activity over the last 7 days remains fairly consistent with prior trending. Red Sky Alliance shows 31 Jinrong Street in the top spot again this week, and China Unicom in second place. Pretty common to see that. Interestingly, though, we had 2 Iranian ASNs show up in the top 5 botnet ASNs this week. Iran's Cell Service and Communications Company and the Mobile Communication Company of Iran PLC accounted for about 10% of the botnet hosts this week. On the cloud security front, we're seeing botnet activities in the same cloud environments as usual. Amazon is the highest risk cloud environment this week, according to our data, switching with peak 10 in second place. And Microsoft and Alibaba are in the top 5 as well. Overall, high-risk environments include SharkTech and Hurricane Electric. TierPoint and Rackspace are in caution risks environments this week, with ONR listed in the lower risk environment. In the Red Sky Alliance email collections, we see a PayPal phishing email targeting recipients at yixun.com. Yixun is a company based out of Hong Kong, which makes shoulder pads and paddings for the fashion industries and clothing, and we have seen them targeted in the past. Recipients at Kraber.de, which is a German pharmaceutical raw materials company, are being targeted with emails containing Win32 Trojans with the subject line payment for invoice. Payment for invoice is one of the most prevalent subject lines observed when analyzing malicious emails. It's very common to see that. Our blacklists are published weekly. On the right-hand side, you can see some of our keylogger stats. Last week, we observed 275,594 new IP addresses participating in various botnets. We observed 33,231 sinkhole connections from new unique IP addresses and 18 unique email accounts compromised with keyloggers. Please go to redskyalliance.org to inquire for additional support, complete blacklist, red X-ray, and API access. I want to thank you all for coming today. Please visit our Red Sky Alliance portal at https://redskyalliance.org for additional cyber intelligence reporting. If you have any questions regarding the topics briefed today, please get in touch with jmckee@wapaklabs.com. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week.